Gaza News Now Aid rolls off U.S.-built pier amid fierce violence in northern Gaza. Israeli bulldozers were smashing Jabalia homes and shops in the advance, residents reported. Palestinian terrorists fought tanks around Rafah in the south. Hamas claims U.S. floating aid pier won't end Israeli siege of Gaza. Cairo, Israeli forces fought Hamas gunmen in the tiny alleyways of Jabalia in northern Gaza on Friday in some of their heaviest battles since returning a week earlier, while militants assaulted tanks near Rafah. Israeli armor reached the market in Jabalia, the largest of Gaza's 8 historic refugee camps, and bulldozers began smashing homes and shops in its way, according to residents. Tanks and planes are destroying neighborhoods, markets, shops, and restaurants. It is all happening before the one-eyed world, Western Jabalia resident Ayman Rajab remarked via chat app. Last week, Israel claimed it was returning to Jabalia to prevent Islamist militants from regrouping after months of clearing it after the October 7 Hamas-led strikes on southern Israel. In southern Gaza bordering Egypt, dense smoke rose above Rafah, where hundreds of thousands of civilians fled a growing Israeli assault on one of the few remaining refuges. People are afraid and they're trying to get away, Jens Lerke, UN Humanitarian Office spokeswoman, said in Geneva. Most were following orders to flee north toward the coast, but there were no secure routes or destinations. The U.S. military claimed vehicles brought aid ashore from a temporary dock as combat continued, the first to reach the besieged enclave by water in weeks. In Deir al-Balah, central Gaza, the World Food Programme received food, water, shelter, and medical supplies from the floating dock and alerted partners it was ready for distribution. The UN reaffirmed that land vehicle convoys, delayed this month by the Rafah assault, were still the most efficient method to deliver aid. To fend off the horrors of famine, we must take the shortest and most evident method to reach the people of Gaza, and for that, we need land access now, Deputy UN spokesperson Farhan Haq said. Washington said U.S. aid was arriving in Cyprus for delivery to Gaza via the new pier. Hamas demanded Israel's embargo end and accused Washington of supporting Israel's starvation and blockade. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan will visit Israel on Sunday and emphasize the necessity for a focused effort against Hamas militants rather than a full-scale Rafah assault, according to the White House. The White House reported that U.S. medical staff left Gaza after getting stranded at their hospital. Humanitarian worries. Israeli troops killed around 60 militants in Jabalia in recent days and found a weapons storage in a divisional-level offensive. Divisional operations were among the largest of the war, involving many brigades of thousands of troops. The 7th Brigade's Fire Control Center directed dozens of airstrikes, eliminated terrorists and damaged terrorist infrastructure, the IDF said. The Enclave's health ministry reports 35,303 Palestinian deaths, as humanitarian agencies warn of rampant famine and fuel and medical shortages. Israel says it must conquer Rafah to defeat Hamas and protect the country. The October 7 Hamas attack killed 1,200 Israelis and kidnapped 253, according to Israeli estimates. About 128 hostages remain in Gaza. On Friday, Israel said Israeli forces recovered the bodies of 3 persons slain at the Nova Music Festival in Israel on October 7 and transferred into Gaza. Hamas said that Israel could only rescue hostages through negotiations. The enemy will not get its prisoners except as dead corpses or through a respectable swap deal for our people and our resistance. The ceasefire talks are deadlocked. Tragic war. On Friday, Israeli tanks and jets shelled Rafah, while Hamas and Islamic Jihad's armed wings launched anti-tank missiles and mortars at forces massing east, southeast, and within the border crossing with Egypt. UNRWA, the major Palestinian humanitarian agency, reported that over 630,000 people had fled Rafah since the offensive began on May 6. They're migrating to locations where there's no water, we've got to truck it in, and people aren't receiving enough food, UNRWA head of planning Sam Rose told Reuters on Friday by phone from eerily quiet Rafah. Israel's Justice Ministry spokesman Gilad Noam defended the operation in the World Court in The Hague, where South Africa accused Israel of violating the Genocide Convention. The South African legal team, which had called for more emergency measures the day before, characterized the Israeli military assault as a genocidal effort to destroy the Palestinian people.